Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Some Kind of That. As promised last week, I'm doing this on Thursdays. I don't know if I mentioned during the episode, but I'm doing this on Thursdays because Thursday is that day that you feel that is almost weekend somehow, because the next day it's Friday. And people start to feel it a bit more light, like you take the week, and Monday it's and Tuesday it's and Wednesday it's because it's nothing. It's like the tofu of the days of the week, at the beginning, not in the end. And Thursday starts to feel a bit more, because it's closer to the weekend, so you take it in a different way, And so I thought, why not? Let's do this Thursdays, because on Fridays everybody is already motivated for the weekend, although I never understood why, right? Because the majority of the people, at least the ones that I know, sorry for swallowing, last time I also realized that every time I swallow it's something that you guys can hear, but I will try not to swallow much. The majority of the people that I know are waiting desperately for the weekend to come, like it's Thursday and they started to feel, oh my god, the weekend is coming, and the next day it's Friday and they feel, oh my god, the weekend is coming, and then they don't do anything. They just don't do anything. They just stay in the house, watch some movies, go shopping. It's kind of what life is. But this excitement that comes from the people that, oh my god, it's Friday, the song, it's Friday then. And it's the same, but in the end you don't do much. So I don't understand your excitement, but okay, I'll take it how it is, and that's fine, because I am the same. The more that you go, it's Thursday today and I'm feeling a bit more, hey, there you go, okay, weekend is coming. Friday, okay, very nice. Saturday, nothing, just I don't know what I will do. We'll see. Anyway, in order for us not to deviate much from, variate much from a topic to another, I thought about two things that I wanted to say. It will be an open speech still. It will be, there's no script, as you guys can see. Sorry again. There's no speech. There's no script. Sorry, as you guys can see. But I needed to touch in a couple of things, and I thought that would be better at least to have some topics in my mind instead of just going from a place to another. Although, being a conversation, this is normally what happens, right? I mean, last week I kind of said that I'm going to jump from one point from a subject to another, but I felt that it would be better to have like a topic, and since this is a show podcast that touches stuff that piss me off, I thought about two topics, because these two topics in particular piss me off. One is related with this, still again, common sense. I know that I mentioned last week that I feel that somehow the common sense is disappearing and is becoming a bit more of uncommon sense, but still. And is to do with people, specifically, and I hope my Romanian friends don't get upset at me, but the fact that I'm here for such a long time allows me to see, also the reality of the country and of the town. And I'm not saying that from where I'm coming from, people drive top, creme de la creme of drivers in Europe or in the world. But I kind of feel that people in Bucharest specifically don't know how to drive. Or they know how to drive, but everything is kind of chaos and confusion. And that's something that really upsets me. It's not the fact that you're driving or that you don't drive, but everything around what is traffic in this town specifically, it pisses me off. Because the rules exist for a reason, and I understand perfectly that, there is that saying that rules exist to be broken, something like this. But in this case, no, they exist because they will make, in theory, our life a bit easier. And if we escape that and we don't go through the rule itself, we just create chaos. And I believe this is what happens in this town, because I had experiences going to the airport, for example, at 2, 3, 4 a.m., early flight, late flight, whatever. So going and coming back from the airport. And there's traffic. at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. Of course, not the same level as, you know, in the morning at 6, 7, 8, and in the afternoon at kind of the same hour, p.m. But it's very annoying. It's very annoying because we don't understand, I don't understand specifically, why do we have such an amount of traffic? And okay, I get that at night there's a lot of stuff open, but this has to do specifically, although the majority of the people that I speak with tells me it has to do with the conditions. It has to do with the fact that the town is not prepared for such a big amount of cars. Bucharest, the area itself has 2 million something of inhabitants, which is not much if you think about it. Because, for example, the metropolitan area of Lisbon has a bit more, it's 3 million something. And the one from Porto, it's also 2 million something, which in comparison with Portugal. If you're gonna look at Rome, it's gonna be millions also. So what is the problem? And the problem is exactly that. It's just the rule. It's just the fact that nobody respects the rule. Like, for example, you have 3 lanes to go in the same direction, and you know, I assume that in Europe, with the exception of the UK, obviously, because they drive on the wrong side of the road. Sorry guys, this is the truth. You go on the right side when you tend to be a bit slower, let's put it like this. Or in reality, you should always go on the right side, and then only, you know, when there are exits or the road deviates and creates an exit, there you go, or 2 exits, you move according with the lanes that you have available. Not in Bucharest. In Bucharest, you drive wherever you want, because it's possible to turn left anywhere as long as you have space to do it. It doesn't really matter if you have a tram line in there. It's going to be used to be a third line. It doesn't matter if your lane says that you are forced to turn right. You will go ahead if you want. And sometimes in this example, for example, of the 3 lanes, you are on the left lane, so the one that is supposed to go to the left or ahead, and you decide just out of nowhere, you know what, good luck everybody else, I'm going to turn right here. So all of this kind of stuff just creates, you know, frustration. Specifically to me, being a foreigner, it's something that I cannot understand how this works, because it's just this every single fucking day. You go on a road that has, for example, my road here, it's just 1 lane, well, 2 lanes, you know, but in both senses, directions. And it's frustrating because everybody parks the cars in second hand, because everybody parks the cars everywhere, because although there exists specific parking spaces where you can just put your car, people don't respect and they don't give a shit. And this pisses me off. It pisses me off truly, because it's not about, you know, anything else besides respect through or to the other, with the other. I'm driving. I also do shit when I'm driving. I understand that. I'm not saying the opposite. But before I came here, I had a sense that Portugal was very bad in terms of traffic. But Romania, it's worse. I feel that everywhere I go, I will face a situation that I'm not expecting. So I'm always trying to leave a bit of a distance. But there's always a dumbass that is coming in my back smelling the ass. My ass in specific, in this concept. And I don't understand why. There's always this kind of stuff in town. And it's really, really, really frustrating. So the problem, guys, is not the way that I see it. And again, please do not get upset at me, but this is just how I see it. The reality of this town is the people that don't respect the rule. People don't respect rules. People don't understand rules. They don't care about it. I'm going to give you another example. I went to the supermarket last week or this week. No, I don't remember. Meaning the weekend. So I do remember. And for you to enter in that specific supermarket, I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to cause any kind of issues to anybody. You need to pay, or actually you take a ticket, and then according with the time that you spend inside of that supermarket, grocery store, you gotta pay back, you know, when you're getting out of that supermarket. Then they have like a limit. Okay, doesn't matter. And even in places where you are supposed to pay, so it should be organized, there's always, and they have, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 places in there, maybe even more. I'm not entirely sure, but more than 50 places they have for sure. And still people don't park correctly. Or parked on the diagonal, which I already saw, so occupying like two parking spots, or they just park wrong because they want to. And this is just ridiculous and stupid. Like, how can you be this stupid for not understanding that, you know, those white lines that are there marked, it's for you to put your car in there, and that normally has the enough space for you to also to open your doors, for the car that is next to you do not get hit when you open the doors, for everybody to have, you know, their own spot and do not create confusion. But no, we're gonna park the car here. Why? Because why not? And also another thing, there is always this excuse somehow that, for example, you park on second lane, I think it's how it's called. So you park parallel to the road, blocking the access on the road. So the cars that are behind you when you park cannot move, are forced to go around you, forced to pass you. And the justification is always, yeah, but I'm just there for 1 minute. Yeah, man, but that 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 4 minutes that you're going to buy a pack of smokes, to buy something at the grocery store there, to just give something to a colleague that you needed to meet because he asked you to do something, that is cutting the traffic on that specific moment. And it's creating a huge line behind you. And the problem is that if everybody does that, if everybody just says, but it's just a minute, then nobody else moves. And this is the problem of this town. Wherever you have two lanes, you never go on the right. Why? Because there's always constantly cars parking, stopping on that moment. They don't care, they don't signalize. That's it. And they just go out. Another example. It's a very interesting one. A couple of years ago, sorry for the swallowing again. A couple of years ago, I had a car, a Golf 4, tiny Golf 4, you know, old one from 2001. Nice car, blue one, very nice one. I came from a football practice at night, 10 o'clock, 11, something like this, I don't remember. And I had two colleagues in the car which I was gonna drop them at their places. And I do a curve and it appears the police and the police stops me, okay? Far so good, documents, everything okay. And they decide to give me a fee, ticket, because one of the lights that was in the back, the red one, the presence, you know, you have 2 or 3, I don't recall if I had 3, but I think I had 3, which was one on the left, one on the right, and one on top in the back. The one from the left in the back was off. I didn't realize, to be very honest with you, and I got the fee. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't mind. On that moment, I said, what the fuck, why am I getting a fee because of this? But he's kind of right? I mean, the policeman was right, because I am supposed to be the one, you know, checking. But he stopped me in a place where the entire road was with parking spaces and no one was parked okay. Everybody was parked outside of the parking space, occupying 2 places, occupying sometimes 3 places, because this is also happens, parked on top of the sidewalk, and I got a ticket. And no one in that spot got a ticket. Isn't it frustrating? It is. It is fucking frustrating. Because this is the thing. I don't mind to get a ticket because I did something wrong indeed. Although I didn't do it particularly, but I didn't check that the light was off. So the police, yeah, I mean, he's responsible for giving me a fucking ticket. But all of those fucking cars are also supposed to take a fucking ticket. Because otherwise we don't take and we don't go in the right direction. And this is the fucking problem. Is that besides the people not respecting the fucking rules of the road, also the authorities that are supposed also to amend, Romanian term here, to give a fucking ticket to the people that are doing these mistakes, don't do it. And another very funny thing, and this is a very particularly interesting thing, if you take a ticket, there are several people that I also know that can go around the system and trying for not paying the ticket. So they go like, on appeal, and it takes a few more weeks, and then it's another month, and then you can drive until a certain moment in time, and then you have to give your driving license. But after all, it's not 3 months that you would stay without the driving license. It reduces to 1 month because you can go around, you can refute back, and this is crazy, guys. This is crazy because the problem, to be very honest, and I know that I will be very criticized by saying this, but the problem of the current Romanian society is not the bad politicians that we have here. It's just about the bad decisions that we make. So as in traffic. So, yeah, please drive okay. drive okay. It's simple as this, you know. There are distances to be followed, there are rules that exist just for that. And I know that is fucked up. I know that is fucked up, and I know that sometimes you guys just think, okay, man, fuck this shit. I'm going on the tram line because there is a huge line here, and it's gonna be faster. In theory, it is faster, but it's creating chaos for everybody else. So, you know, it's kind of a selfish attitude that could be cooperative, and it could be together with the rest of the people to make a nice society. Normally, this is how things are supposed to work, right? I mean, we live in society. Even if you are alone, meaning not in a relationship, or you don't live with your parents, you live just with yourself, you still need to, you know, comply with the rules. That's basically it. So I'm very sorry for this rant and being upset about the topic itself, but it really frustrates me. I don't drive every day, but I drive a lot during the week, shopping, sometimes, I don't know, whatever I gotta do. And it's very frustrating because you see that people just don't give a shit. And of course that, yeah, I mean, it creates problems. It creates problems. So this is the first topic I wanted to touch. Let me just drink a bit of water. Not doing commercial, but sorry, it's how I have it. I'll do it like this. Swallowing, right? It's always a funny word. Alright, so this is the first topic. Sorry again, guys, I know. Sometimes, last week it was Asha, like this. This mixing with Romanian sometimes is not going to work, but okay. Last week was like this, you know, touching everywhere. And this week it started like this, you know, like very, got it, okay. Traffic, yeah, pisses off everybody else. Just drive, okay. It's not so hard. Don't stop on places you're not supposed to. Next to my workplace there is a bus station. Everybody stops there. The police comes, gives them a ticket. After the police goes 10 minutes again, everybody stops there. Isn't this frustrating? It's frustrating for the people that are passing by foot, you know, walking to go to the bus. It's frustrating for the taxi drivers that also need a parking space for them to be. Although taxi drivers also, you know, don't follow much of the rules. But still, it's frustrating. You're creating constantly over something shitty that is there instead of actually the traffic to go as it's supposed to. And there are 2 lanes. And then it creates a third one, actually 4, because you can go right without necessarily going on the one in the middle. Okay, doesn't matter, this is going somewhere else. Okay, got it. This is the first topic, right? And the other topic, it's connected with this again, self-responsibility or self-logic of the fact that you live in a community that is people that have kids. People that have kids, and I have friends that have kids, and I understand, and I had discussions with some of my friends with this, because I don't think that in the past education was something that was very, it had phases. Like my parents, for example, would taught me stuff and would talk to me, and sometimes would, you know, Latino blood, let's put it like that. And I'm not saying that you should go on that variant, but it's annoying to have parents that do not realize that their kids, or they don't care that their kids are doing a bunch of noise around you, and they are not capable of saying, hey, just be quiet for a second. I don't know, playing a game, whatever is the case, because of course kids are kids and they will scream. And this is the thing. When you criticize these people, or when you criticize the fact that the kids are doing a lot of noise, for example, I live in an okay neighborhood in terms of young people, in terms of nice families, etc. But there are days that the kids are just screaming at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the night. Doesn't matter if it's Monday, doesn't matter if it's Tuesday, they are just screaming. And some neighbors, of course, get very upset with this because, you know, you also want to sleep, you also get home and you want to relax a bit. And they say, and they scream back like, hey, can you guys stop? And the response normally is, they are just kids. Yeah, but this is the thing. The problem is not with the kids. The problem is with you as a parent, that you are supposed to say, hey, Manuel, please stop screaming. Don't you see? You have to realize. And of course, you know, when they are tiny, it's hard. I understand. If it's a baby, you know, less than 1 year, 2 years, I understand. But you gotta help. You gotta motivate, you know, and not just do whatever they think it's the best. Because kids will be kids. Kids will play. kids will cry, kids will scream, and you do not have the capacity as a parent just to say, hey, shut up, okay? You're bothering the others. If you continue doing this, you don't play anymore. I don't know, whatever parents want to say to their own kids. Here I'm nobody to give this type of tips, but it's annoying. It's annoying, and people just ignore this and they think it's fine and it's okay because, yeah, why not? That, and for example, playing in the middle of the road. This is like it's not a condo, but it's some private apartments, and you have a gate for you to enter. You don't have necessarily a specific access. Yes, I'm very rich. No, man, guys, it's normally for those that don't know Bucharest, except with the old blocks, all the new blocks are kind of like this because of the parking access. The thing is, a lot of cars pass on these streets. And still, at these hours that I was mentioning before, parents get home from work, or they stay with the kids, or it doesn't matter. And they go downstairs and they want, to socialize a bit. They stay and talk with another neighbor, they take a beer, and cool, nothing wrong with that. Meanwhile, the kids are around. Cool-ish here, because as I mentioned, cars are passing by. And the kids are with trottinettes. Is trottinette in English? I think so, okay. With bikes, with their own tiny carts, many times without supervision, because there you go, you cannot leave the perimeter without, having to pass by a tiny gate. And yeah, this is concerning, because a lot of times cars are not expecting, and comes a kid out of nowhere, and the parents' responsibility sorry, this was not okay. The parents put the responsibility on the driver. And guys, there are green areas somewhere. There are parks that you can take your kids. And I know that is frustrating. I know that you got home from fucking work and you just want to relax and you want to stay a bit with your kid and you want to take the kid out. I get it. But not in the fucking middle of what everybody else is, where cars are passing by, motorcycles, delivery guys that come with the food. I don't know, whatever it's happening here. You gotta be careful. And especially realize that the fact that he's a kid, people don't get upset at the kid. People get upset with the fact that the parents need to be responsibilized. Here I go again with the responsibilized. What's this word? Doesn't exist. The parents need to take responsibility over the fact that their own kids is doing a lot of noise or is not behaving fine. And just do that. It's just this. Again, it goes in the sense of the first topic with the traffic, because people don't give a shit. You don't care if you're doing a lot of noise. And this is not applicable just for the kids. It's also applicable about, for the adults. That sometimes it's 2, 3, 4 a.m. Not very often, it's true in this neighborhood specifically, but there's a fucking huge amount of noise. And guys, I also like to sleep. And it's not just even about that. The fucked up thing about living in a block, bunch of apartments, is that you need to respect the others. And at a certain hour you cannot do noise. And I do that sometimes also, I get it, but I tell the other neighbor, hey, this is happening. And if I don't, I should, because it's wrong to do it. It's wrong to just come ahead and just, do a bunch of noise just because. Do a lot of noise just because. Having your music out loud at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday, the tofu day. Why? On the next day, people are going to work, people are going to school, kids are going to school. So just think about it, guys. Again, it's a fucking ridiculous thing is this concept that it seems that we live in a fucking society, but we behave as we are just living in an abandoned place or isolated place where, I don't have to be concerned about anything. I leave my fucking car wherever I want. I let my kid scream whatever he wants or she. I just do the noise that I want, but I forget that I live in a community. And for all the effect, we live in a community. Right? I mean, this is the fucking point. This is the fucking point. If you don't want, you gotta go outside of town. You will find a house, isolated one, that allows you to do all of this. But not in the middle of where, other people are, neighbors and stuff. Right? It's how it is. And I know that many people say, but what are we supposed to do? That I don't know. But you gotta take the kids from here. You gotta stop doing noise at a certain hour. You gotta stop parking your fucking cars in the wrong place. You can see that I'm really pissed with this shit. Because it's true. But what can I say? So, I think for today that's it. 24 minutes, basically 25. We'll try always to make, this period of time. I'm very sorry if today was not so touching in so many areas. But I really had these two things that I wanted to say. because somehow they are connected in the sense of respect and society. And please do not take me wrong, I'm nobody to give fucking lessons to anybody, but I'm also part of this society. And I think it's easier when we tend to follow the rules and not be the guy that broke it or breaks it, instead of, yeah, this makes sense? No, but I think the idea is there. You know, it's easier to just follow the rules. And I'm not saying that you have to be like, you know, the ship that goes after the other ship. It's not the point. Some rules are are really stupid. But in these specific things, this is just common sense. If you work like this, things tend to be better. Instead of being the, super smart guy, there's a word in Romanian, schmecker, that you just, do what the fuck you want. Help out the others, and you help out the others just by doing these things. This is how it is. Right, guys, I don't want to bother you more. This was not indeed something that was very nice, right? Today, particularly because I'm just woke up and I said, okay, fuck this shit, let's do this, and I'm very stressed and whatever. But this is how it is, guys. This is how it is. And yeah, maybe next week I'm not pissed at anything and the conversation gets better. Why not? Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend doing something, and I guess we'll speak next week. Or not.